Now I get the best part of the day, where we recognize one faculty member who is very special and has been nominated by their students largely. It's a student award that's been given by the GIFT Center and the GIFT Great Ideas for Teaching Committee, which is now the Teaching and Learning Committee. And this is, again, something that about a month ago we sent a message to all faculty and all students to nominate a faculty member to win an award, to be recognized for their good work. And you know, when I heard, and most of us probably were here for Dr. Ryan's talk this morning, which really felt great. It's a really great effort she's going forward with. And it really brought to mind what students have said about this teacher. I'm getting choked up. Okay. I'm going to take a breath here, because when you read something like this, the sincere words of the students, it really puts your heart in your throat. So I'm going to read some of before announcing the winner. And by the way, 61 faculty were nominated. So that's really something we can be proud of, that our faculty are doing great work. And the students are speaking up. You know, they're the ones who, unprompted, they didn't even get a gift card. They nominated, all on their own. So some of the things that were said, well, I'm going to have to announce the winner. Maybe I should just replace the name with this teacher. Because you're going to find out who it is. But I'm going to announce the winner now, and then I'm going to read some of the things that were said about her. This year's winner is Andrea Schaben. Math instructor extraordinaire. Thank you. Would you come up here? Come on up here and stand. She's going to get, as part of the award, she gets to speak to all of you. Lucky you. No, sure. This is great.
Yeah, I have 6 speeches.
Andrea, I want to read some of the things that were said. So, a student can tell when the teacher truly loves and is passionate about teaching. Professor Schaben is an amazing instructor. I get algebra now. And listen to what the students are saying. It's pretty telling. She introduces herself to the class at the beginning of the semester. That must be important. That's really interesting to hear. And she tells them what they should expect to experience. That was really important to that student. She offers excellent instruction and is readily available if students need help. She goes above and beyond. She quickly got back to me and explained things in a way that was easily understood. No student was left behind in her class. Comments and questions, Andrea made learning about math fun. Imagine. Even during the sections of the lesson that weren't easy. She lifted up everyone's mood and made the class feel like a little math family. Are you ready to sign up for math? She lifted up everyone's mood. I already said that. Our class even had a pizza party. You should bring a pizza in too. I mean, and she helped me out during a rough time in my educational journey. She always had a smile on her face. She goes around the room helping students that need assistance while also checking those that are on the right track and giving them a thumbs up. She has never shamed a student for missing a class or not being able to keep up or making a poor grade. The learning environment is conducive to questions. No question is a bad question in her book. In her book, we are rock stars, and she makes sure to tell us that. Thank you, Andrea.
As I mentioned, I have 3 or 4 different versions of what I wanted to speak about today. Because you don't often get an opportunity to talk with your peers about things that are really important to you, and my job and my students is one of the most important things to me in my life. I am honored and humbled, though, to be standing in front of you getting this award, especially when I found out that it was mostly student nominations and not my fellow faculty that nominated me for this award. That means the world to me, because that's exactly the goal that I come to, at the beginning of the semester. So, and I talked to my sister yesterday on the phone about what I wanted to talk about, and because her and I go hiking together, and we yap the entire time, and I'm constantly telling her, because she's also an educator, what I'm doing in my classroom, what I'm planning for different changes through the college, and I came up with this, and what I want to start with is my lens and my experiences. I taught in a middle school classroom right out of college, and my class sizes were average of 40, and I'm not misspeaking, 40 middle schoolers. They were crawling off the walls. I have pictures to prove all of this. And my next job was at a high school, and I was a coach. And it's funny because I still have other adults in my life that call me coach. Carl Siegfried is one of those people. That's what he calls me. He never calls me Andrea. And I think part of that is the way that he sees me develop those relationships with students. And where that comes in with my lens is I was a coach for most of my adult life, 15 years, 3 years at the college level, and many years at the high school level. I hate to even count. But that really permeates in what I do, because I want to be the strongest advocate I can for my students. I want to develop a team environment in my classroom. I want it to be us against the world, or us, and that's the type of relationship and the type of environment that I want to create in my classroom. So, and obviously, lucky for me that does translate to the students. So also, being at the high school for so many years, I was shocked, I was actually appalled when I found out that they pay for me to travel for professional development. Are you kidding me? This is like the lottery. And so my first year I went to Denver, my second year I went to San Diego. Last year I was lucky enough to go to Austin and St. Louis, and I have tons of takeaways from all of these conferences that I've gone to. And some of them are OER, and I did create the first math OER class this semester, it's awesome. And I did not do it myself though. Dave Grazier and Shane Gibson were a huge help in creating that OER class. I've done several things with online redesign. I'm also doing the DevEd redesign. I've got my fingers in a lot of pie, but I've decided that. And the one thing that I'm focusing mostly on this year is, and my main goal, is redesigning the way that we support students. That conference in St. Louis, I went with Heather and Tanya, and we learned at the Holistic Student Support Institute how we can holistically support students. And it isn't just course design, and that is really important. Don't get me wrong, but where I redesigned my classes this year is in the ways that I supported my students. Online office hours that happened at night. Trust me, I did not love that. And emailing that to students after the fact because they didn't want to engage with me or other students, but they still wanted that content. They still wanted that support. They still wanted to feel that I was there for them. And so I just took their questions, made it into a big presentation and sent the presentation out because that's what the students wanted. It's not what I wanted. I didn't get to engage with most of my online students this semester except for the mandatory online meeting I had at the beginning of the year. And if you guys aren't doing that in your classes, please, I encourage you to do so because those online students, they want to meet you. And that might be the difference between them quitting at the end of the semester and actually continuing on. Just that face, just that person that I care about you. And I care enough about you to take time out of my day. And I don't care when it is. I will meet with you at 8 o'clock at night if that's what needs to happen. It's only the first 2 weeks. But we can all do this. And it helps the students feel supported. Making data-driven decisions. If you get a chance to see Heather's talk tomorrow with Tom on what we can do, what kind of data we can collect to help support students, I think that's going to be a very, very interesting topic moving forward. Some different research-based study skills. The president, what a great keynote this morning, because the way that we nudge students is critical to how they're going to proceed in their educational journey. In our DevEd redesign, we're putting in embedded tutoring, embedded reading and content. We want to meet the students where they're at, not necessarily coming in from above and being more prescriptive. We have to meet them where we're at if we're going to continue to help them grow. And last but not least, we need that holistic student support part where we all become trained to at least tell students where they need to go if they have substance abuse problems, depression, marital issues. I can't tell you how many students have come to me and said, I had to move out of my house because my husband was beating me. And you have to support those students. Even if I'm not trained to help that person, but I can listen. And the more of us that are willing to do that and to become those advocates for students, the stronger our institution's going to be as a whole. Which leads me to my second goal, I'm almost done, is to redesign our communication thread so that the committees can actually achieve their goals with faculty and administrative support. Being the chair of DevEd this last 3 years, by the way, that was my title in my, first year or second year? We really need to get the faculty and administration buy-in on our initiatives if we're going to move them forward. And I know Jenny discussed this with the board, and thank you for that wonderful email earlier this week. And Molly brought it to Senate, but I'm really hoping we can redesign our faculty committee structure so that we can really get things done that need to get done. And working with DevEd these last 3 years, I can't be a stronger advocate for that. And then the last thing I wanted to do is I just wanted to thank 2 people who are near and dear to my heart. I wouldn't have this award without them. And the first one's Dean Holbrook. He was the best mentor and boss I could have asked for coming here and encouraged me to take the DevEd committee chair position, even though I was quite resistant, but saw the leadership skills in myself that I didn't see. And so thank you, Dean. And the second person is Molly, because Molly Bushman continues to push me to be better than I even think I can be. And then by her actions and how much she really cares about this institution, it inspires me to continue to do more. So I just wanted to thank those 2 people publicly because they are the most amazing individuals and I absolutely wouldn't be who I am without them. So thank you, and I appreciate this award. It's an amazing honor.